The MPT candidates who passed in October 2016, please put your hands together for Anish Muzumdar, Swati Chandramouli, Samia, Sana Akram, Archana, Apurva Chaudhary, Zara Sadiq, students from October 2015, Hospital Administration, Dr. Eileen, candidates who have passed the DM-MCH fellowship exams in July 2016, Dr. Anish Mehta, from DM Neurology, Dr. Kiran R, DM Gastroenterology, Dr. Kasarneni Dheeraj, MCH Urology, Dr. Santoshi Punacha, MCH Neurosurgery, Dr. Vikram S. Patil, DM Cardiology, candidates from Perinatal Medicine, July 2016, Dr. Bharat K, Dr. Niranjan Kumar, and Dr. Arjun.
Thank you, sir. Saint Jerome once said about good, better, and the best. You should never let it rest till your good becomes the better and the better becomes the best. An award ceremony is a very special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the brightest and exceptional ones with academic excellence. They have set standards which is difficult to emulate. They have shot for the moon. If they have missed, they have landed among the stars. And to all these bright and deserving stars, let the beagles blow and the lights shine little more brighter. As a request, Shri M.R. Sampangi Ramaiah, Advisor, Gokula Education Foundation, to honor our children with the awards for the subject toppers in MBBS, BPT, and MPT streams. May I request Dr. Ashwini to call upon the names of the awardees.
Good evening to one and all. Dr. Deepthi G, top scorer in subjects of physiology, biochemistry, microbiology, community medicine, and general medicine. Dr. Chandana Uday Kumar, top scorer, first MBBS, anatomy and microbiology. Dr. Devesh Sanjeev Ballal, top scorer, first MBBS, ophthalmology, pediatrics. Dr. Mamta S. Chabria, top scorer, second MBBS, forensic medicine and obstetrics and gynecology. Dr. Samarth S. Gowda, top scorer, third MBBS Part 1, pharmacology and general surgery. Dr. Harsha V. Patel, top scorer, third MBBS Part 2, pathology and ophthalmology. Please put your hands together. Dr. Raksha Kumaraswamy, top scorer in pharmacology. Dr. Vaishnavi Prakash, top scorer in ENT. Ms. Shreya Pradhan, top scorer in first year and third year physiotherapy. Wait. Ms. Sasha Muriel D. Almeida, top scorer in second and fourth year BPT. I request Mrs. Almeida, her mother, to come and receive the awards on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together.
Sindhu S. R. Saligram, top scorer in second year BPT. Ms. Sana Akram, top scorer, first year, Masters in Physiotherapy. Mr. Anish Mazumdar, top scorer, second year, Masters in Physiotherapy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Passing on to the endowment awards instituted in the names of Dr. Rani Kanaka, Dr. Brinda, Dr. Somraj RS, Dr. Tahira Agarwal, and Sri B.S. Nanchapa. May I request our Chief Executive, Dr. D.V. Guruprasad, to kindly step forward to distribute the awards. May I request Dr. Indumati, Professor of Microbiology, to read out the details.
Announcing Dr. Rani Kanaka Memorial Award.
Check mic, please.
Announcing Dr. Rani Kanaka Memorial Award for the highest scorer in physiology. This award goes to Dr. Deepthi G. She scores 322 out of the possible 400 marks. Shri M.S. Somaraj Aras Memorial Award for the best outgoing undergraduate student in pediatrics. This award goes to Dr. Devesh Sanjeev Ballal. He scores 196 out of the possible 250 marks. Dr. Mrs. Tahira Agarwal Memorial Award for the Best Outgoing Undergraduate Student in Ophthalmology. This is shared by Dr. Devesh Sanjeev Ballal and Dr. Harsha V. Patel. They score 198 out of the possible 250 marks. Announcing Dr. Brinda Memorial Award for the Best Outgoing Undergraduate Student in Obstetrics and Gynecology. The award goes to Dr. Mamta S. Chabria. She scores 392 of 500 possible marks. Shri B.S. Nanjappa Memorial Award for the Best Outgoing Undergraduate Student in General Medicine goes again to Dr. Deepti G. She scores 377 out of the possible 500.
Thank you, sir. Further endowment awards instituted by Dr. Jaivir Agarwal, Mrs. Meera Somraj, Sri Nagesham and Srimati Sita Lakshmi Nagesham Memorial Awards. May I request our chief guest, Dr. Badrinath Koneti, to please come forward to give away the endowment awards. May I request Dr. Vanitha Gowda, Associate Professor of Biochemistry, to call out the names.
Dr. Jaivir Agarwal Memorial Award for the Best Outgoing Postgraduate Student in Ophthalmology. The award goes to Dr. Sheba Singh, who scored 68% in MS Ophthalmology exam. The award instituted by the Department of Ophthalmology, Ramaiah Medical College, for the Best Outgoing Postgraduate Student in DOMS goes to Dr. B. Deepak. Mrs. Meera Somraj Ars Memorial Award for the Best Outgoing Postgraduate Student in Pediatrics goes to Dr. Purnima Venugopal, who has scored 64% in MD Pediatrics exam. Sri P. Nagesam Award, instituted by Dr. N. Sundari for the Best Outgoing Postgraduate Student in MS OBG goes to Dr. Chaitra S., who scored 67% in MS OBG. Srimati Sita Lakshmi Nagesam Award, also instituted by Dr. N. Sundari for the Best Outgoing Student of Diploma in OBG goes to Dr. Sneha Gupta, who secured 63% in her exams.
Thank you, sir. As we pass on to the awards of excellence further, we have Professor K.N. Sharma Memorial Award and awards of excellence in the names of Mankind Pharma Limited. May I request Dr. Naresh Shetty, President, Memorial Hospital, and Senior Professor of Orthopedics to kindly step forward to do the honors. May I request Dr. Venkatesh D., Professor of Physiology, to call out the candidates for Professor K.N. Sharma Memorial Award.
Professor K.N. Sharma Memorial Awards. These awards have been instituted by Dr. Duva Sharma in memory of her husband, Dr. K.N. Sharma, our beloved advisor, GEFM. Dr. K.N. Sharma was inducted into Hall of Fame for distinguished accomplishments in medicine by the authority of American Biographical Institute that has left an indelible mark. He has served in many academic institutions and won laurels for services rendered. The awards instituted in memory of K.N. Sharma. The best outgoing postgraduate in physiology goes to Dr. Pravriti Mishra for scoring 439 out of 700 marks. Best outgoing postgraduate in general medicine, Dr. Abhinav Kumar. He has scored 408 out of 700 marks. The best outgoing postgraduate in radio diagnosis, Dr. Shubha Ashok. She has scored 466 out of 700. Best outgoing postgraduate in cardiology, Dr. Vikram S. Patil. He has scored 432 out of 700. Best outgoing postgraduate in neurosurgery, Dr. Santoshi Punacha, scoring 417 out of 700.
Thank you, sir. The Awards of Excellence instituted by Mankind Pharma Limited. May I request Dr. Kuku Ayappa to call out the names of the awardees.
The first Mankind Award for the Best All-Rounder in MBBS Undergraduate 2010 batch goes to Dr. Samarth S. Gowda. Mankind Award for the Best All-Rounder Undergraduate in Physiotherapy 2010 batch goes to Ms. Shasha Almeida. May I request her mother to please come and receive the award? Mankind Award for the Best Outgoing Postgraduate Clinical Subject, we have Dr. Palipat Shabala Paul in anesthesia. The next Mankind Award for the Best Outgoing Postgraduate Super Specialty Subject goes to Kasaraneni Dheeraj in MCH Urology.
Thank you, sir. The highest awards of excellence, Dr. Sunita Mova and Dr. Chanpik Louis Award, will be read by Dr. Kuku Ayappa. May I request our Honorable Chairman, Dr. M.R. Jairam, to please come forward and bless the recipients.
Dr. Mrs. Sunita Mowa Memorial Award has been instituted by her father, Shri Subbarao for the best outgoing student for having scored the highest marks in final MBBS. And this year, the award goes to Dr. Harsha V. Patel for having scored 1291 out of 1750 in the final year MBBS examination held in December 2014. The next award is Shanpek Louis Award. It's my pleasure to present to you all the Shanpek Louis Award for the best overall performance in academics. Shanpek Louis, daughter of Mr. Chan Kim Hoo, was an epitome of hard work, determination, and perseverance. She created a milestone by achieving a rare feat of being a topper in 9 out of 13 subjects and bagged 19 gold medals at the 34th convocation of Bangalore University, which is an all-time record in the Faculty of Medicine. In recognition of her unique distinction, the management of Gokula Education Foundation has instituted an award from that year to the student who achieves academic excellence in our college. The award is instituted in her name to ensure that we remember this student of ours in the days to come. The proud recipient of this award is Dr. Samath S. Gowda, who has scored 3805 out of 5050 in an overall aggregate of marks in MBBS. I request our beloved Honorable Chairman to give away the award. We request the family of Dr. Samarth to please stand up. Please put your hands together to applaud Dr. Samath Gowda. The next award is Mrs. Gunasundari Award. This award has been instituted by her family members after her demise to be given to the best worker of the year in the non-teaching category. And this year, the award goes to Mr. B.P. Ravindra in recognition of his services to the institution. Please put your hands together to give a big applause to Mr. B.P. Ravindra.
Thank you, sir. Thomas Alva Edison once said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is to try once more." Dear students, also remember, the field of medicine is not just about academics. It's more about giving than taking. It's all about how compassionate and caring you can be with your patients. It's all about your words of confidence and the level of trust you can impart that heals the patient much faster than the actual medicine. You need to find true love in whatever you do. You need to search for your God in every patient you treat. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Badrinath Koneti, an eminent doctor, teacher, a vivid researcher, who climbed the pinnacle of his career as a urologist, director, and chair at the University of Minnesota, United States. Who is a better person to give a convocation address to all of you? Sir, may I request your kind self to deliver the convocation address and bless our graduates with your words of wisdom.
Dear Mr. Jairam, Mr. Sampanki Ramaiah, Mr. Anand Ram, Dr. Guru Prasad, Dr. Medha Rao, other faculty dignitaries on the dais, friends, parents, families, and fellow students. I still am a student. Firstly, congratulations on this momentous achievement and great milestone that you've all passed today. I cannot describe to you how incredibly humbling it is to come here and stand before you and give this convocation address. When I graduated from the same school about 26 years ago, 1990, we did not have such an august ceremony back then. So I'm really, really thanking you, as well as all the faculty and Dr. Medha Rao and the management of the school for inviting me back again. I feel like I'm back at my own graduation. This is something I missed, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. I must say I'm really amazed at how this institution has developed, and I must credit the visionary thinking of Mr. M.S. Ramaiah. That has been sustained by his children, Mr. Jairam, Mr. Pattabhiram, and many others. This very institution that you're graduating from is a living testimony to the fact that if a single person follows his or her dream, anything is possible. I have heard many stories of Mr. Ramaiah and how he first came to Bangalore. This was in the 1940s. My grandfather was in construction, and there was a hospital called the British General Hospital that was being built in this same Gokula Extension area. And my grandfather was one of the people who was working on that project. And he apparently met Mr. Ramaiah and one of his cousin brothers, Mr. Sitappa, who had just come, and they were building the compound wall and involved in this project. And from those humble beginnings, we have what you see today. This is the dream of one man, maybe working on that hospital, inspired him to create this institution of higher learning, which has given us all our education and our future careers, for which we've all got to be thankful. And this is such an enormous contribution to education, science, and society that I think the entire society of Bangalore, South India, India, maybe the rest of the world has to thank Mr. Ramaiah. What he also symbolizes is that you should never be afraid to dream, and dream big. Reach for the stars, such that you may at least touch the treetops. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You can be anything you want to be. So I just wanted to give you greetings from my state of Minnesota. After the November 8th election, and after Mr. Trump won, we have decided that we want to be part of Canada, as is represented on this map. So. But it's very cold up there, and I invite you to visit, specifically in the summer, not in the winter. Can I get to the next slide? At the risk of tooting my own horn, I'd like to recount to you a little bit of my own story. Perhaps that'll provide you with some perspective. I'm not trying to boast, but actually much of this is not going to be boasting. When I was in your shoes, I felt very much like how you are feeling right now. But also I was a lot more ignorant and a lot more stupid. Remember, we had no email, no internet, and no iPhone back then. Yes, this was only 25 years ago. So you may think that's strange, but that was the way it was. But I did know one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to seek training abroad. You know, my own uncle, who has the same name as me, Dr. S.S. Badrinath, has a very eminent practice in Madras, Shankar Nethralaya, and I'd always heard stories of him having gone to America and his training, so I really wanted to do the same thing. And my professors here gave me very good advice. They said, if you're going to go abroad, go now, right after your MBBS. Don't wait till you finish your post-graduation, because that may not be valid over there. One of my professors, Dr. Belani, who was head of surgery here at one point, to whom I shall be eternally grateful, actually provided me with the contact number of one of his friends, Dr. Parinchari Narayan, who at that time was at University of California, San Francisco. And he hired me. I mean, he didn't know me, but he just gave me a chance and hired me in research. I had never done liquor research before, but he took a chance on me. Incidentally, both of these people, Dr. Belani and Dr. Narayan, were my dad's students when he was a professor at St. John's Medical College. And when I went there, I wanted to be a cardiac surgeon. I wanted to be a heart surgeon. That was the most exciting thing, and that's what I wanted to be. But Dr. Narayan convinced me otherwise and redirected me to urology. I also worked in the lab. I'd never done research before, but once I started working in the lab, I was really smitten. I really thought this was very exciting, and I started to enjoy what I was doing. I was lucky enough to match into urology and subsequently get a residency and fellowship and so on. I've had the good fortune to train with many greats in my field who have helped my career a lot. The reason I'm recounting this story is mostly to tell you and demonstrate to you that where you start and where you land up may be completely different. One has to be willing to take the forks in the road. You know, it may take you down a different path, but you may still be successful. And sometimes you have to learn to adapt and make the best of what you have. But we have to embrace life and all its opportunities as they come. Otherwise, you could miss out that opportunity that's down that untrodden path. My hunt for residency was not easy. At one of the interviews, this was for general surgery, one of the interviewers actually put up an MRI of the brain and asked me to read it. I had never ever seen an MRI of any kind, let alone of the brain. And I said, I don't know what this is. So he told me, how do you expect that we should hire you Indian guys if you cannot even read a simple X-ray? I would not count an MRI of the brain as a simple X-ray, even today. I'm not sure I can still read an MRI of the brain. Thank God I did not go into neurology or neurosurgery. Another place I went to had an Indian-American urologist as a faculty member who interviewed me. He was very nice, but he told me point blank, we're not going to give you a spot. You're not going to get a spot here. So I said, wait a minute. I spent all my money coming to this interview, and you're telling me that you're not going to give me a spot. Why did you call me for an interview? So he said, well, look, if we give fresh off the boat people like you a spot, how are we going to accommodate our own kids? Well, I did let it pass. I met somewhere else, and I went on. 2 years ago, I got asked to go as a visiting professor and a guest of honor to that same university program and lecture them. Before I commenced my talk, I looked around the audience and found that same person who had told me those same words when I had interviewed there, sitting in the audience. And I thanked him during my speech because he was the one who made sure I did not match there. And perhaps if I had matched there, maybe my career would have gone a different way, and I would not have been there that day having the privilege of addressing them. So you never know how things will change, but you have to just embrace it. In America, there is a commonly used cliche, what does not kill you only makes you stronger. And for those who are young among you, there's even a Kelly Clarkson song that celebrates this sentiment. I had a video clip of it, but I couldn't figure out how to play it, so I'm not that tech savvy. One has to seek opportunity and diversity by embracing it. Much of life is not in your control, except your attitude and how you react to it. How many of you have read the book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl? Any hands? So this is Viktor Frankl. This book has been reported to be the most read book amongst the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. It's Mr. Frankl, actually Dr. Frankl, was a Jewish psychiatrist and neurologist who was imprisoned in one of the worst concentration camps in World War II, in the Dachau concentration camp. He was separated from his family, and he endured incredible pain and suffering. In this book, which is a very short read, only 150 pages, he actually recounts his experiences. He had to pull dead bodies from the gas chamber. He had to tend to wounds of his co-prisoners. It was horrifying what he went through. And his entire family died in the concentration camps, except his sister who escaped to America. Yet at the end of the war, he remained a normal person, and he re-entered life, continued practicing, became a well-traveled speaker, wrote a lot of books, and really educated us about how it is that he went through this experience and still remained sane and kept hope, and remained without bitterness, and was able to have a successful career. He was able to endure all of that because his whole life was centered on hope and meaning and anticipation about what could be and how one can use that to manage their own attitude. What is to give light must endure burning like a candle, as Frankl says. And he has some other great homilies that he has really been popular for. Our greatest freedom is the freedom to choose our attitude. Not much else you can do about what life throws you. If you get a bunch of lemons, make lemonade. And that is all you can do, really. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. Once I had an Italian patient, let's call him Mr. P. First time I met him, I was a resident. He was in a nursing home. He was about 78 years old. And he was bedridden. He was paralyzed from the neck down. All he could do was move his neck and speak and things like that. He had been paralyzed by a single gunshot wound to his spine in World War II, the first day he entered battle at age 18. For 60 years, he had been laying in a bed somewhere, different hospitals. But I can tell you, He was one of the most cheerful patients in that entire ward. He was always joking, pulling somebody's leg or the other, and speaking loudly. He really took a liking to me because he thought I was Italian. You know, Conetti, C-O-N-E-T-T-I, is a common Italian name, particularly from Sicily, apparently. Just to keep calling me a traitor and a paisan, or a countryman who is intent on denying his heritage. So he would always give me a hard time when I saw him, saying, why am I not willing to accept that I'm Italian? But one day I talked to him and I said, how is it that you're able to maintain this attitude? You're laying there bedbound, you can't do anything, you can't even lift a finger, but yet you're so cheerful. He said, Doc, look at it this way. I get my food delivered to me. I have beautiful nurses taking care of me. I don't have to worry about going grocery shopping. I don't have to worry about falling down, divorce, getting hit in a traffic accident, nothing. I just lay here and everything comes to me. I have it a lot better than most of my buddies that I went to war with. And I remembered this last year when I took my son to Normandy. This is Omaha Beach, and pictures of Omaha Beach in Normandy, where D-Day was fought. World War II was won on this beach. 5,000 soldiers died in a single morning. If you have seen Saving Private Ryan, the movie, that's what this movie is about. If you go there, there cannot be a human with a heart who will not shed tears. Many of these 18, 20, 24-year-olds just slaughtered as cannon fodder. When you see that, when I saw that, I was able to realize what Mr. P was referring to. He thought, for him, he escaped that, and at least was still able to lay on a bed and think things and see beautiful things, whereas all his friends just died on that same beach. So that's why sometimes when life is really tough, you have to maintain perspective. If it looks really bleak, clean your lens, turn it around till you find a sunny spot. Somebody else is having it much worse somewhere else. And let me tell you, you will have those times. Let me tell you another little story about another patient of mine, Mr. Donald Tremblay. Very wealthy gentleman in Minneapolis. He had very bad bladder cancer. He was about 64 years old. I treated him. He did not respond to anything, and he was dying of metastatic disease. We got quite close. The last days before his death, I spent a lot of time by his bedside and was chatting. He was telling me all about his life and his wishes and his ambitions. The two things that he regretted most was not being able to be with his kids. He had two children, a daughter and a son. The thing that he regretted most was that he was not going to be able to be there when his daughter got married the following year. He was particularly worried about his son, who was still in high school, very close to him, and he thought, I'm not going to be there to counsel him and to help him. He had a lot of money, he had a lot of businesses, a lot of other things, but this is all he really cared about. And this is the other lesson that we have to learn, or I learned from that incident. Life is about deciding on your values and holding true to them. To Don, nothing else mattered but his children's well-being. Probably like many of your parents today, you are probably what matters to them the most. Each of us has to define our own value system and stay true to it. A recent study by an Australian nurse named Bonnie Ware, among her patients who were all in the last days of their life, she asked all of these people, they were all dying within the next 6 months. She asked all of them, what are the 5 things that you regret not doing the most? The number one regret amongst all her patients is that they did not live a life true to themselves. So define your boundaries, define what you're about, and live true to them. I believe there are 4 characteristics that are very important to us as we build a career or go through life. We are all very, very fortunate to be in a truly unique profession. I believe this is a profession like no other, because it has the perfect trifecta. One can make a good living, achieve a solid reputation in the community, and make a significant direct contribution to someone else's life. Most other professions allow you to do 1 or 2 of 3, but not all 3. This is a very powerful attribute and puts you, as new graduates, in a very powerful position. But as Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility. And that is your responsibility. So what is your responsibility? Base your values on these 4 principles, and I think that will help you go through life. Integrity. One of the core requirements for any individual, particularly a doctor, is integrity. It is different from just being honest or truthful. It is honesty with moral values. Remember, I mentioned earlier that each of us has to define our own value system? This is why it's important. If you don't have a value system, you may be honest, you may be truthful, but you will not have integrity. We did a study once of all the different characteristics of a medical student that residency program directors look for in hiring a new resident. The number one, across the United States, the number one characteristic, far and above scores, letters, everything else, was integrity. It's a very, very important thing. And if our integrity is not good, and if this principle is corroded, the very foundation of our profession will crack. There are many temptations we face and you will face: practice challenges, drug companies trying to get you to prescribe their drugs, influence peddling, malpractice, cut practice, shadow practice, self-referral, all sorts of things. It doesn't only happen here or there, it happens everywhere, in some fashion. You can get away with getting off the beaten path some of the time, maybe much of the time, but never all of the time. In most US medical schools, medical students are required to go through a course in ethics. And one of the classic case studies used to highlight the importance of maintaining professional ethics and consequences for not doing so is the example of a urologist, unfortunately. This urologist is named Joseph Osterling. He is a brilliant urologist who trained at Johns Hopkins University, made significant contributions to diagnosis of prostate cancer using PSA, and so forth. He was one of the youngest chairmen of a very powerful department of urology at the University of Michigan many years ago. And he got caught double dipping and taking money from pharmaceutical companies for promoting their products. He was fired. Most recently, I just came across this when I was looking up on the internet, he was jailed for overprescribing narcotics. So it does not matter how famous you are, no one is immune. Someday you will get caught. Humility is a very important virtue for a doctor. Constantly learn from your parents, their families, your colleagues, friends, spouse, children, anybody you can. You're always a student. Remember I said fellow students? I count myself always a student. It is never going to stop till I die. Even the janitor who's cleaning the rooms in the hospital ward can teach you something. Because sometimes they're the people who are taking away, cleaning the toilet, taking away paper that's thrown. They'll tell you somebody has blood in their stool, urine, something. Listen to them. Everybody. I learned that from Tom Starzl, one of the foremost transplant surgeons in the world. He fundamentally was one of the pioneers of kidney transplantation. He was at the University of Pittsburgh when I was a resident, and I would see him doing rounds. He would stop, chat with every janitor, every person, every ward clerk, everybody about their family, something or the other. He was one of the most famous transplant surgeons in the world, but yet he took time to interact with everybody. It makes a big difference. And you have to listen. You have to listen to everything. Let me tell you another story about Archie Cochrane. Archie Cochrane was a Scottish doctor who ultimately came up with the idea of evidence-based medicine. It's very popular now, evidence-based medicine. He was also the first person who described the phrase God complex. He thought many doctors had a God complex, and he learned that from his own personal experience. One point, when he was much younger, he actually had a chest wall tumor. So he went to an eminent surgeon in London who took out this tumor and apparently did a frozen section. They said it was some sort of ghastly pathologic diagnosis. So he decided to best treat this. He had to resect the entire chest wall, take all the pectoralis major muscles out, and so forth. So he did a big surgery. He came out, told Cochrane that he knew what to do and he had done everything he can, but unfortunately he would be dead in 6 months because he had an awful tumor. Final pathology came back. It was a benign condition. There was no tumor. And Archie Cochrane went on to live many, many more years after that. So this experience of the surgeon had not been helpful in this case. He had not really observed and looked carefully at data. He was so arrogant that he did not even care to look at any other data. This drove Dr. Cochrane to pursue this idea of randomized clinical trials, and that forms the foundation of evidence-based medicine today. So be humble. Never forget. Focus in a particular area on your profession. Always focus. Have you ever heard of the 10,000-hour rule? Anybody heard of it? 10,000-hour rule? Good. It takes 10,000 hours of focused practice to become a master at anything. This is work based on some of the original experiments by K. Erickson, and actually was popularized in a big essay that was written in a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Any of you have not read Malcolm Gladwell, I advise you to go to Amazon and buy his first book called Blink and several others. He's a wonderful thinker and a great journalist. You'll learn a lot by reading his books. Tiger Woods, Yo-Yo Ma, Zakir Hussain, Sachin Tendulkar did not get that way by chance. They focused and practiced relentlessly. Let me tell you a little story about Sachin Tendulkar I just heard. I was at the USUCON meeting along with Dr. Ramesh. And Harsha Bogle, the popular commentator, he was recounting the story, and I thought it was wonderful. Apparently, when Sachin Tendulkar was very young, his coach would put a single coin instead of the bails on the stumps. And he would tell Tendulkar that if he went through entire batting practice without that coin being knocked off, he would give him the coin. Even today, apparently Tendulkar treasures that bag of coins that he's collected from every practice that he went through. More than any award, that to him indicates that he was able to focus and deliver on what he was supposed to do. What that tells you is how focused he was on preventing that ball from hitting the stump and how that ultimately got him to where he was. So focus is very, very important. It can make you the greatest batsman in the world. Devotion to your patients and your profession is the fourth attribute. In chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna expounds on the virtues of Sankhya Yoga, or renunciation of action as a path to salvation. But in the next chapter, he also talks about Karma Yoga, about action as the path to salvation. And Arjuna gets very confused, and he asks him, Lord, which is the better path? One of renunciation or one of activity? Krishna unequivocally replies, the path of Karma Yoga, or selfless action, is a superior one. To us physicians, the path of service is that of service to our patients and to our profession. But to pursue Karma Yoga in the truest sense, one has to do so without expecting a particular result from the action. For us, that represents caring for our patients, because that is our duty, our dharma, our sadhana, first and foremost. Let me read you a verse from chapter 2, it's verse 47 from the Bhagavad Gita. I read the Bhagavad Gita every day, because that is my moral compass. And if you don't remember any other thing in the Bhagavad Gita, but just remember these two lines, I think that distills for the entire essence of the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbu mate sangostva karmani. You have the right to work only, but not to its fruits. Let not the fruits of action be your motive, nor let your attachment be to inaction. If you follow this, I think you will have no trouble in attaining salvation. Lastly, be thankful. Grateful for all you have got. Be thankful every single day. Thank your parents. Thank your teachers. Thank your siblings, friends, extended family, and most of all, thank God. Without them and without God, you would not be here today or get to wherever you're intending to go. I thank my parents, my teachers, and especially my forefathers every day. I don't know where I would be today without their steadfast dedication and support. One of my favorite movie lines is from the movie Amistad. It is about a bunch of slaves who are on a slave ship called Amistad that gets grounded off the coast of Boston. And they're shipwrecked, and all these slaves are brought over to the Supreme Court. And one of the future presidents of the United States, John Quincy Adams, is a lawyer who argues for their freedom in the Supreme Court, because the owner of that slave ship claims they are still slaves. But the slaves said, well, the ship went aground, we were marooned in the ocean, we basically were freed from the ship, so we are actually free men. And the lead slave, his name is Sinke, in that case, before the Supreme Court, he argues that he will call upon the help of his ancestors in his court case, for he is the very reason for their existence. Similarly, for all of us, all of you, our ancestors and your family and your forefathers have lived precisely so that we may live and thrive and go on to live fuller lives. So thank them for everything you have every day. I will leave you with these lines from a lecture by Randy Pausch, from the lecture called his last lecture. It is available on YouTube. You should watch it. He was a brilliant computer scientist. He was a professor at Carnegie Mellon University, which is one of the best universities in the United States. It's in Pittsburgh. He died at the age of 47 of pancreatic cancer. Before he died, he gave a lecture, not about dying, but about living. It carries many good messages for all of us in any walk of life. We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play our hand. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. And experience often is the most valuable thing you have to offer. Never lose the childlike wonder. Show gratitude. Don't complain. Just work harder. And remember, never give up. Thank you, and Jai Hind. I also want to take this occasion to make one other statement. You know, this alma mater has given me a lot, and I'd like to give back some. And I saw all the bright young people who walk up here, and I was so inspired at their energy, at their enthusiasm, and what they've been able to do. So I would like to make a donation to the foundation so that we can set up a couple of other awards, one for the best outgoing student, and one for the best faculty member, because who's elected by the outgoing class, because I think both deserve recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful exposition. Sir, your journey is a message to our students, and your experience with your patients is an inspiration to all our graduates. You said doctor's profession is the most noblest profession in which you can make a direct impact on the mankind. You said learn from everyone around you, and you said be focused, and that is the secret of success. And just adopt Karma Yoga. Thank you, sir, and we are indeed grateful for your gracious presence on this occasion. May I request our Honorable Chairman to kindly felicitate our chief guest with the token of our love and appreciation. It's the time for students' response, what they have to feel. They have been very quiet today, for once. I guess they want to impress their parents. Is Dr. Prajwala yes for you with her icy and spicy words? Dr. Prajwala.
Good evening, respected dignitaries, my wonderful teachers, parents, fellow graduates, and lovely friends. I feel immense pride as I stand here today as a graduate of MS Ramaiah Medical College, batch of 2010. I'm also very thankful for this wonderful opportunity that I have to be able to talk on behalf of my batch. MS Ramaiah Medical College. The very name brings joyful memories to our minds. This place has always felt like a second home to all of us, opening its arms out wide to students from all over the country and beyond. Every time I think about MS Ramaiah Medical College, It brings a smile and lights up my face. I mean, which other college can look so awesome and new literally every time you visit it? Let the students have the best of faculty, an advanced skill lab, as well as let them have a fair share of fun with all the superb fests. From the very start of first year, sitting in front of the corpse, having a surreal experience and dissecting our heads as to whether we chose the right profession or not. The time spent playing dumb charades in the dissection hall, trying to be brave hearts, pricking ourselves in the hematology lab, mixing up chemicals, and mugging up stuff for those dreaded extra tests in biochemistry, which eventually gave our batch an amazing 21 distinctions in the very subject. The new friendships and the relationships that was brought out through the clinics, trekking up to newer heights in Kaivara, and going down low to understand the hardships faced by the poor, the dignity of labor, and to be humble and empathetic. The honeymoon period of the third year, all the bunking of classes, and the fun time spent out in the inviting streets of New Bell Road. The enthralling opportunity to introspect ourselves and showcase our hidden talents and discover our other sides. The amazing times that I've got to spend in various fests, near and far, which brought me closer to the MS Ramaiah sports family rather than a team, which taught me to be competitive and, more importantly, about the strength of unity and sportsmanship. It felt good to have a winning streak all the time. The informative classes, the excitement of skill lab sessions, the interesting and fun-filled clinics, with all the confusions and discussions, the teaching and the cheating, the proxies, the stressful study holidays, the grueling 3-hour exams, the scary and nervous Viva sessions, the anxious result times, and the joyful celebrations of getting one step closer at a time for getting the prefix of a doctor. A very less known fact about the non-governmental organization which was started here, Little Seva Society, a group that was initially brought up by our engineering students and slowly picked up here later by the medical college students. It gave us a wonderful opportunity to interact with people in old age homes and children at orphanages, and also gave us a chance to raise funds through charity from our very own fun-filled ways in the fests. Thank you for being ever so supportive to our needs and helping us make a little change in the lives of the poor. Next being the clerkship, the internship, which gave us all hands-on training on how to be a doctor. Right from the different experiences gained in all the various departments, to the thrilling adrenaline rush we had when getting our cutting chances in the OT, and to the night duties spent on the bunk beds of casualty. Thank you, MS Ramaiah Medical College, in particular, the administration who were ever helpful, the well-versed faculty, the supportive nursing and paramedical staff, the cooperative patients, the courteous non-teaching staff, and last but not the least, my amazing batchmates of 2010. For this one hell of a roller coaster ride. I'm sure all of you would agree with me that change is for the better, and our time here at MS Ramaiah Medical College has helped us shape and build us into the competent and proud doctors that we are today. We will always cherish the memories made here. I would also love to congratulate all my batchmates for their brilliant results in the NEET PG exam of 2016. Once again, thank you one and all. Thank you to my amazing family and my awesome friends who have always been my support system. This is Dr. Prajwala Sachidanand Aradhya signing off on behalf of MS Ramaiah Medical College, batch of 2010. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prajwala, for those wonderful words. Let us hear from another highly talented student, Dr. Aaron Julius. He generally used to enthrall audience in every introspection. A very popular personality, especially among girls.
Good evening to everyone present here, all the dignitaries on the dais, our teachers, our parents, and graduates. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I should be saying here. But I realized that as much as our teachers say that this is our day, I think this is our day to show our parents this is our day as well. So what I was thinking is that it's been 5.5 years, and for us, we take a lot of these things that we know now and feel now for granted. So I was trying to think about all these things that we felt right from the beginning. And I remember a teacher telling us right in first year that we're back to kindergarten again and first year. And now having gone through the entire cycle, I can see that happen because there were a lot of first moments that happened all over again. And I think, again, for the parents as well, sending your children off, it seems like I'm sending my child off to college, but the parents are there, dropping them off with food in their packets and making sure that, did you study well, did you write your notes? That's all happening in first year again, but you're in college, you're going to be a doctor. But all that is happening. And there are these moments when you realize that as a parent, you're doing everything that you did, that you sent your child off as a kindergarten student again. And I think one of those moments where these conversations that we've had from first, second, third, fourth year, which again, let's have the parents corroborate with us. The first year, we would have come, our first initial complaints would have been, Mom, Dad, biochemistry is tough. It is so hard. I don't know what to do. I mean, most of us are failing it. We don't know what to do with it. And that the library slowly becomes our home. When we tell our parents, what are we doing? I'm staying in the library to study. Oh, where do you eat? The librry. Well, oh, you had a birthday for a friend. Oh, where do you celebrate? The library. At 12, yes, we couldn't leave. They opened the place, yes. These are newfound things, and I think that's what helped us become understanding and believe in this entire thing of becoming doctors, because we are changing into a new lifestyle. And that was our new learning for us. So, I mean, again, in first year, we realized that even though the human body has 4.5 liters of blood, even if a person loses 1 drop, you're likely to faint. And that for a medical student, last-minute studying starts almost a month and a half before the exams, which our other friends find very amusing. Like, why are you so stressed? I have my exams. When is it? Next month. Like, huh? Well, that's something that we've gotten used to now also. Then we move on to second year, where we study microbiology, which starts off into getting us into slight amounts of paranoia. Because now I know when I touch this, these are the bugs that are there. When I have this, I know somebody else has breathed the stuff into this. And I touch water, it might be stagnant, I don't know what's in there. And all of us now are suddenly so much more aware of things around us. And as much as it's beautiful, it's also something that's brought us into this thing, which we now take for granted because we know. But at one point of time, we didn't. And that was because our teachers and the institution and this course really just gave it to us. And it's something that we take for granted now. So I think these are these little moments that I want to share with you to reflect on the past 5.5 years of our journey in these so many years. And then also, we also, as students, have an appreciation for abstract art now because of histology and pathology. Because right before the exams, remember the smiley face there? That means this. This one, if there's a sun rising there, that's what that is. Like, there's no time. Don't explain it now. So, yeah, I mean, well, now we know what it is. The whole oath, sorry. Yes. And by third year, well, we've all hit paranoia, which is the third year syndrome, because now when we start reading all these the medicine books properly, and then we realize, hey, I think I have a couple of these symptoms. I'm not very sure. So again, I'm sure, I hope the parents are thinking, I do remember my ward coming in and saying these things, because these are things that happen to us. And then by fourth year, we're almost there. We're fully professional. Our handwriting is so bad, we've learned to sleep anywhere, in any posture by this time. And yes, very important for our training, I believe. And by the end of it, we are responsible doctors who are now encouraged by our teachers and the faculty and the staff here to treat patients well. And obviously, we're all intelligent enough to read books and learn what we have to. But it's the way in which I know for sure that all of us have had those moments when any of our teachers would have interacted with the patient in a different way, or done something, like how Sir mentioned that there is somebody who spoke to anyone in the ward or a janitor, and it reflected for him. And I know, personally, I've had those moments watching my teachers do these things, and I know you guys have also learned these important skills that books just cannot teach you. And for that, on behalf of all these graduates, teachers, parents, and dignitaries here, we thank you. We thank you for teaching us things that are not present in books. We thank you so much for that. And that brings us to now, where all the baby fat from our cheeks are gone, and we're all graduates, doctors, and all the girls in our batch are beautiful women, and all the boys are now worrying about hair fall and receding hairlines. True story, right? And this beautiful journey could not have happened if we didn't have this place to do it in. And as much as this building is made with the bricks and the paint and everything here, it's also made by the teachers and the people and the passion that Ramaiah Medical College is. And we thank you, teachers, for that. To our parents, thank you so much. This degree is as much yours as it is ours. So we dedicate this. I'm sure all of us want to dedicate this to you. So thank you. And finally, to the stars of the night, to my batchmates, we did it. We did it. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the friends that I've made. Thank you for the people I will be calling when I need help, when I'm doing something wrong. Thank you so much for the friendship and everything that we've had for the past 5.5 years. I know it's going to keep us together for a long time to come. Remember, these past 5.5 years has been a friendship of convenience because we've been stuck together. So now, I think, starts the real journey, the real test of everything. So good luck to you on behalf of, I'm sure, our parents to us, and from, well, us to them. Good luck to all of you. Thank you so much, dignitaries. Thank you for the time.
That is our typical ad. I was told by Kuku Madam that he's into theatre plays nowadays, and he has recently played Romeo and Juliet. He also told me that he is the most eligible bachelor now. My dear students, remember, each time when you look into your certificates and awards, please remember your best treasures are your friends. Take time to hug your mom and dad and say thank you for making you what you're today. Take time to remember your teacher and your friends who has brought in smiles to your faces when it mattered. Ladies and gentlemen, I quote from Inspiring Thoughts of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Creating leadership is all about exercising the task to change the traditional role from a commander to coach, from manager to mentor, from director to delegator, and from one who demands respect to one who commands respect. He believes leadership is all about translating vision to reality, and he believes enlightened leadership needs empowerment, and he strongly feels suffering of the mankind can be alleviated through holistic medicine. And he always believes spirituality is the absolute foundation for modern science. He is none other than our Honorable Chairman, Dr. M.R. Jairam, who just translated Founder's vision into reality in this magnanimous campus. Sir, may I request you to deliver the presidential remarks as we mark the closing of Convocation 2017.
Surrendering myself to the divine, the chief guest of today's function, Dr. Badrinath, my fellow trustees, my brothers, Mr. Sampang Ramaiah and Mr. Pattaviram, the Chief Executive, the members of the faculty, their parents, and students. I think today is the most happiest day for you. You have done it. Today you have a certificate to say that, yes, I am a doctor. And the day is ahead of you. It's a long day tomorrow. And that's the day in which you are looking for. God bless you. After having said that, I think what Dr. Badrinath has spoken to you and given a piece of advice is most realistic, and it is full of treasure in your coming life. I have had great respect for him today because he has, in his speech, he has brought to you so much of information, so much of knowledge, the way in which you have to pass through your life, the hints for you to go through most difficult period of your life. He started giving you advice from the West, and in the end he comes back to his own roots, where he brings out from his heart the very essence of our life. Young students, this is the reality of life. You are going forward and you have to reach your destination. There is a certainty of your growth. Don't be afraid of growth. This is my advice to you. It is certain. When you are born, you grow to middle age, then to old age. Then you pass off. Again you are born. So this is a passage of time. The progress is bound to come. That's a natural phenomenon. But what is very important is, when you are in this part of growth, how you have taken your life and how you have passed through this, the knowledge that you have had, how you have used it is the most important. I remember now a great philosopher, Mr. Rajagopalacharya, who said that knowledge and bhakti, if anybody thinks that it is different from each other, he's a useless tinsel. The knowledge and devotion are one and the same. If you want to use the knowledge fully, you want to acquire that knowledge fully, then with devotion, you can easily achieve it. With very, very ease, without much of strain, you can be able to use that knowledge when it is needed. When you are being tested, and when you are about to make somebody happy, this knowledge will come to your rescue. When the devotion is completely merges with knowledge. This is all that I can say to you at this moment of time. Take this knowledge that you have taken, you have learned, very hard way. But try to use this knowledge for the betterment of not only to you, but to the very mankind. With these few words, I would like to remind all of you that please come back to this institution. at some time of your life. This has given you so much of knowledge. This has made you something great. Just remember us. Your teachers have given so much to you without any expectation from you. That is the greatness of a teacher. Please give them respects wherever you are. And whenever you see them, at whatever the position that you are in tomorrow, just say namaste to him. That's all what he requires. And this institution, let me tell you, that you have spent, which has given you all this knowledge, we are here to give you, to make this place a place of knowledge, place of excellence. Our vision is to make this place a holistic nature. All knowledge has to, one day, become a holistic. And that holistic nature, that is a very principle of development of mankind. And that makes us to be better people, a people where the knowledge grows. And we would like to do that. And we would like to see the skills are developed in this center. The skill is the most important thing for making or utilizing your knowledge for a purpose and make it more efficient in treating the patients. The skill is one of the prime importance in this age of digital image. So therefore, we are here committed to make this place a place of giving you the best of knowledge that you can get anywhere, any place in this world. This is our vision. We are trying to make this a better place for tomorrow. I know that you have had a lot of tough periods to go. I don't think we have made you fully happy in giving you that atmosphere. But I'll assure you that your brothers who are coming in now, they will be in better place to acquire knowledge than you people. We are trying to do our best. So whatever, if there's any misgivings, please don't feel bad about it. We are very sincere in it. We are doing our best. And we'll make it a better place for the youngsters, to all your brothers who are going to come into this institution. And to my parents, your parents, I would like to tell them that we have handed over your children to you. I am sure that they'll bring pride to you. We are all praying that they bring pride. We are also a part of your dream. Don't think we are away from your dream. We are also praying, we are also in that space where you have been thinking. If there's anything wrong, you feel bad. We also share that pain. If there's anything good comes out of it, as much as you enjoy the goodness, we are also going to enjoy. Both you parents and us, we are in the same space and same page. And we will pass through this most difficult period with all good hope and praying for the children that they may grow as good human beings, as good doctors, and as people who can have the power to cure the pain, to remove pain from society. Wish you all the best. So let God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those wonderful words. My dear students, as we come to the end of this beautiful evening, there is a message to all of you from your teachers at Ramaiah. It is in the form of a short poem. This was given by Dr. Naresh Shetty to me 10 years back when he said, I have to do this job. And here it goes. Goodbye to you, all our lovely students. You were our friends, our students, and our teachers too. We had joy, we had fun in teaching you and seeing you grow. We had joy and we had fun in being your ladder. We punished you and we troubled you only to ensure you climb up the ladder. Be like a kite, fly high, and we had fun in being your string. But ensure you never lose your string from your alma mater. But now, it is a time to say goodbye. We will pray for you, and we need to stay back. But remember, your teachers at Ramaiah will be there for you when you need to climb again and fly again. Thank you, one and all, and goodbye, and we will miss you from Ramaiah. As we sign off, to culminate these dream moments, it will be Dr. Harish K., Associate Dean and Vice Principal, to propose vote of thanks.
On behalf of GEF, management, faculty and staff of MS Ramaiah, I would first like to congratulate all of you on this momentous occasion and wish you all the best in your endeavors. And I think 10, 15, 20 years from now, I would like to, and all of us would like to see you in big places. I would first like to thank our Honorable Chairman and Visionary, Dr. M.R. Jairam, for his presidential address and making it today. I would like to thank our directors, Sri Sampangi Ramaiah and Sri Pattabhiram, who have made it today. And our special thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Badrinath, for his excellent lecture on integrity, honesty, focus, and determination, which are the pillars of your success in future. I would like to thank our chief executive, Dr. D.V. Guruprasad, Dr. Naresh Shetty, president of the Memorial Hospital, Dr. Medha Rao, our ever-smiling principal, our registrars, Dr. Hemant and Dr. Pratap, our distinguished members of the press, the proud parents, and all of you. I'd be failing in my duty if I don't thank the entire backroom staff of our faculty, teaching and non-teaching staff who have made this possible today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harish. I request our Honorable Chairman to adjourn and close the convocation ceremony.
The convocation is dissolved.
Thank you, sir. I request all of you to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे
Thank you. The ceremonial procession shall leave the auditorium with the dignitaries leaving the dais. I request all the audience students to kindly stand up as a mark of respect. Thank you. Thank you. I request all the students to kindly stay back for further proceedings. I request... You have to throw your caps now, but not the gowns, please. Are you ready? When I say 3, you will throw the cap, okay? Are you ready? 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. Wish you all the best.